Well, you're kind of looking at the witch. I could, as a witch, I could work at Hogwarts.
You need a drum roll. Ow! Sunburn. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and people from far, far away in like distant planets like Aldebaran and the land of Oasis. Today I have to show you something. I am not wearing shiny shoes. Check it out. Check it out. Look at that. Have you ever seen such white legs before? This is the show where I show off my white legs because I'm not wearing the shiny shoes. You see, I got a foot fungus, and that's because I was wearing the shiny shoes. They're my favorite. But what can I say? It's ridiculous. I got a foot fungus. I got a foot fungus. I got a foot fungus. Woohoo! So today, I am very excited to introduce you to somebody named AVIVA DAWN. AVIVA DAWN, AVIVA DAWN, AVIVA DAWN. She is a filmmaker, a director, an aspiring TV screenwriter, and she is calling me today from her sauna in Michigan. This is one you have to see. All the way from the sauna in Michigan on vacation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's AVIVA DAWN right after this. A la peanut butter!
I always have the same dream. In it, there's 3 palm trees. Like 3 really tall friends. But then I'm alone by the ocean. Dreams ain't real. Today, things will be different. Somehow that voice inside knows there's a storm coming. Hello.
Jesse!
Get over here, dope.
Who's responsible for my misery?
Put your hands so I can see him. We're gonna handle it.
What did you do? That misery is yours to end.
You and Nikki, you all I got.
You scared to die, Greg, ain't you? I guess you ain't heard me. I'm already dead.
Life's a lot like them waves. Sometimes we feel like there ain't no rhyme or reason. Can't nothing be further from the truth.
Welcome back. You caught me with my pants down. I better stand up and walk over here. I am Geoffrey Hill, your host of the show, and today I have a special treat for you. Her name is AVIVA DAWN. She is an aspiring TV screenwriter. I'm not quite sure if that means she's written stuff or she's dreaming about writing stuff, but she's calling us today from the sauna in Michigan. While she's on vacation, she's going to be right here on the screen. Take a look. There she is. Welcome to the show, AVIVA. She is
Thanks for having me.
speechless. Oh, there we go.
I think there's a little delay.
That's okay. It's always something to do with my head. I'm going to sit down here and we're going to have a little chat.
Awesome.
So, I like chatting. So you are in Michigan on vacation because the walls there look like you're sitting inside of a sauna with a green wall.
It's a cabin. I told you it's the bad stepchild cabin of the main cabin.
There's like murderers outside the door.
It's the bad stepchild. It's the grungy cabin, the cabin that gets neglected.
That's the one where your mom sends you when you're in trouble. She says, you need
Yes,
a lick and go to the cabin. Dad will be out in a minute. Wow, it's really cool.
Exactly.
Are you
Yes.
like a long ways away from humanity all by yourself in the deep, dark woods?
No, it's not quite that remote, but it feels like it when you're in the back cabin.
Seriously? Is Hansel and Gretel out there? Because I was wondering if I could meet the witch.
Well, you're kind of looking at the witch.
Woo! Ooh, love it. Love it. That's awesome. Do you have potions? I have one right here. It's blue.
I actually just we haven't been here in 2 years since the COVID, so I had to throw all the potions away because they expired.
Holy cow! And you have to rake up the dust.
Yeah, and the cobwebs and the dead fly carcasses. 2 years worth.
2 years of
The only murders that have been going on are the fly carcasses.
Ooh, very nice. Are they edible at this point? They should be completely dehydrated.
If you were really, really desperate, perhaps.
There's a lot of protein available in your average insect. If you take a look at your average insect and you dissect it piece by piece, you will discover there's the protein in the liver, protein in the big bulbous eyes. Ooh, it's good stuff.
Yes.
Add some ketchup, maybe some liquid chocolate. Hershey's is a good brand with ants.
Or deep fry them, because if you deep fry anything and sprinkle salt on it, it's pretty delicious.
And crunchy. Like you could have breaded flies. You can like throw them in, bread the flies. That sounds like a real witch kind of thing to do.
I think there are places on the planet that already do that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Breaded flies. I know in China they do eat some really unique foods. Over here in America, meat and potatoes and McDonald's.
Yeah. Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese. Ooh, that does sound really good right now. The staple of life, Big Mac.
Yep.
So it says here on my notes that you're an aspiring TV screenwriter, and I'm wondering, because I said that in my opening statement, does that mean that she has written stuff, or she's hoping to write stuff at some point?
No, I have written. I have a original pilot that I've written based on the time that I lived in Hawaii. And it's a dramedy about a woman who's newly sober and has to face, kind of the real world of being a mom and being a daughter to her estranged father. And so that's my original pilot. I've written a feature film also that's kind of a thriller about it's about reproductive freedom, and then I have some spec scripts, which are what you write when you write like a show that already exists, and then you write as if you were a TV writer on that show. You kind of mimic their voice, because that's a lot of what you do when you write for TV is you write in the showrunner's voice, not necessarily your own. So you have to demonstrate that you can do that. And so I have these scripts in various contests. The Atlanta Film Festival, not the Atlanta, the Austin Film Festival is one that I have it in right now. So I'm hopeful.
I love how you mentioned pilots, because I dated a pilot once. She was so hot. Hottest fly girl ever? Since we're talking about flies. Woo. Love me some good pilot. Whew, it's juicy, sweet.
Did you see the flight attendant? Because she's not a pilot, but she's a pretty hot flight attendant.
Is that a movie that's in the market right now?
It's a TV show with Kaylee Kuko from the show about the Sheldon, who was the autistic mathematician or something like that. The Big Bang Show. That show. That's
like Rain Man. I don't really watch TV because they keep me in a box most of the time. Then when they want to see me, they crank the handle, kapoof. There I am.
There you are, little Jack in the box. Only you're Jeff in the box.
Geoffrey Hill in the box. Hey, that's a good one. We can write that in the advertisements. Hey, Chris, he's the producer. Remember, write that at Geoffrey Hill in the box. We'll do a little crank.
Well, give me credit. Written by AVIVA Dawn, right?
Poof. This is fun. So you write your TV script in the voice. Does that mean that you're sitting at the typewriter like this?
And she's running in the room, eating a donut, wearing a slip, and only one shoe.
I guess it would depend on what you are writing for. So, like, if I was writing The Mandalorian and I was writing alien parts, then that's what I would write. And then if I was not writing that, I would probably do something a little different.
Then you got to do the Mandalorian voice for me. Give me an example.
Oh, well, The Mandalorian has like a robot voice practically. He's like, right, little one, we need to go. Like, he's got no personality.
That is true, and yet he's so cool.
So popular.
You want to be the Mandalorian and be completely deadpan, a total deadbeat, but you get to shoot people and run around and chase monsters.
And wear really cool armor.
I wonder if he was a dad at one point and deserted his wife and his kids.
It's a possibility.
I mean, he was a deadbeat. Now you're forcing me to go to drink. Folks,
Just
this is not hypnotic. This is a Gatorade. It's blue. It's grape flavor. Makes your teeth
grape
purple.
flavor. Usually the blue is like blue raspberry.
Wait, I try again.
It's not grape.
Nope, still grape.
Really?
Yeah, I love grapes. I love grapes. I like it when the servants come and they peel them for me. It's so much better, so much easier.
What about when they're fermented? Aren't they better then as well?
I was in Florida back in 2007 with a whole bunch of gorgeous models.
And that has to do with fermented grapes?
Oh, I forgot what we were talking about. Yes. And oh yeah. And then one night I was in this house and I was all by myself. And there was, I don't drink alcohol. I just never did. It doesn't interest me ever, not even a slight bit. And so I was in this house and there was a bar in this house and I was all by myself. I thought, okay, I'm home alone and Macaulay Culkin is not here to rescue me. So I should be okay if I just go have a little tiny snigger of something. So I went and I got this bottle that said vodka, and I poured like a ½ inch in this little tiny glass, what they call that, a shot glass. And I poured like a ½ inch in there, and I heard that like when you drink vodka, it's like drinking fire or gasoline or something. I drank gas before, that's why I ended up the way I am today. And so, but I thought, okay, I'll just throw this back. I threw it back. Oh my gosh! It burned all my tonsils. I don't have tonsils anymore. This is why I sound the way I do. And I'm thinking, man, you got to be crazy to want to drink this stuff. And I'm just kind of standing there with this thing in my hand, and I'm like, well, that was interesting. About 10 seconds later, I'm floating. I'm floating all over the place. I remember putting the bottle down and the glass thing down, and then I kind of made my way down the hallway, and that's the last thing I remember. And I didn't.
Did the beautiful women rescue you?
Sadly, I wouldn't even know if they did. I know I was alone. I was alone at first. When I woke up, there were people in the house, so I'm not really certain what happened. I just drank that, and I walked down the hallway, and I have no other memory. It was terrible. I was floating. It was a totally miserable experience off of 1 teaspoon of that stuff. It said Smirnoff, and I knew that Smirnoff was a vodka, so I thought, if I'm going to try it, I'm going to try the heavy one. Why not? I'm telling you, alcoholic is not my dream job. It's just not my dream job.
Yeah.
I mean, you just cannot hire me to get drunk enough.
You're just a little bit of a lightweight, it sounds like.
Well, most likely, because that was the one and only time I've ever had any alcohol in my life, and I have no other interest because, like, I'm floating, I feel sick, it doesn't feel right, and then I have no memory. Really? So you want me to drink a 20 ounce or a 40 ounce? I'd probably have no life after that, like I'd lose my legs. I don't want that. No way. But what is your dream job? Alcoholic is not mine.
Well, alcoholic is not mine. I think I tried that before and it didn't work out too well for me. So I gave that one up. But my dream job would be to be a paid writer on a TV show or
You can
for
work
my
at
screen.
Hogwarts.
I could work at Hogwarts. I could, as a witch, I could work at Hogwarts, and I would be a good teacher. I would be a better teacher than most of them because most of them, at least, they were like, here's the things. Now don't touch that, and then they'd walk away, and then they'd touch it, and then they'd mess everything up, and then they'd get kicked out of class. Like they were bad teachers.
But look at the writing on that, though. It's so awesome.
Well, yes, the writing was good. But they had source material. You know, it's easier, or it's a different animal when you have source material.
There's plenty around.
I'm working on something that has source material. We're working on a show, a limited series called Girls in the Picture. And it's all about early women in Hollywood in the silent era. Did you know that there were more women in film, like both behind the camera and in front of the camera in the silent film era than there are even today?
What I want to know is how do they keep the women silent? Because that's like an impossibility in my world.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Wow. Where's my drum roll? But really, I had no idea. I knew that in film a long time ago, well, in vaudeville, it was all men acting like women.
There were also women. There were also, and that's kind of where it came from. But also, it was due to World War One, because all the men went off to World War One, and so therefore, a lot of women flooded the film industry in editing and in directing and in writing, and they were just really present more so than they are even today.
Well, that completely makes sense. I mean, it was women in the factories who were building the machines that were being used overseas.
Yep.
That does make sense. I never actually thought about that in the 20s there would be more women in film, but then they are better to look at. I mean, marketing-wise.
Just not to listen to.
Well, it just depends, you know. It's not like we just don't want to listen. What's that?
I said, where's my drum roll?
You need a drum roll. Ow! Sunburn. Hey.
Yeah, so like working on productions like Harry Potter, where you're, using source material such as the books to then create, a piece for the film. You've got a lot of expectations. People want it to be just like the original, and it's hard to fit a whole 300 or 400 page book into an hour and a half movie. But they did a good job. They made a great franchise.
See, that just seems practically impossible because you're right. You're trying to take this 370, 500 pages or 13 volumes and condense it and somehow in episode 1, movie 1, set the stage so that everybody understands what it is when there's so much detail in those books. How, as a writer, can you possibly do that, even if you can do all of the voices while typing away?
You can't. I mean, you have to make choices that, like, this needs to go here, even though it happened in the book over here. Like, we can condense the time frame, or we can move the plot in a different way because it will serve how we're going to film it. But you have to make hard choices like that.
So in the middle of writing, it's let's throw away that chapter and make sure no one knows what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying, well, when they watched Harry Potter and they read the books, because I read all the books, I never thought I would enjoy that kind of book, and then I read Harry Potter and I couldn't put it down. I've never been into witches and fantasy. I'm a Star Trek guy. I love Star Trek. I just got to beam me up all the time. But then I'm like, witches, warlocks.
Just not with vodka.
Yeah, no vodka. Don't beam me up with
Beam
the
me
vodka.
up, Scotty. No vodka.
That's right, because Scotty was he really enjoyed that. And the Romulan ale, Dr. McCoy, he was always into Romulan ale. It was always a secret thing he had into the cupboard in his sick bay. But I don't want to watch things about witches and all that stuff. That's just not cool. And I'm reading Harry Potter, and I'm falling in love with it on every single page. And then, like so many people, I watched the movies and I went, what the heck is this thing about? Is this the same thing? They totally left this out. Wow.
Yeah.
Where did it go? But of course we have a Hagrid. So all is good. We have a Hagrid.
And it didn't stop anybody from watching it. You know what I mean? Like, people still bought the tickets, even when it was apparent that it was not a truthful, it wasn't as close adaptation as most fans would like. Everybody still watched it. Everybody still followed it. She got her checks in the bank.
Oh, yeah. And I don't see her refunding any money.
Oh, no.
She had enough money to take her pets to the vet, I'm telling you.
But I tell you, that's like my ultimate, like if I had world domination, like Madonna, okay, I'm going to write my own novels, and then somebody's going to buy the IP, and then I'm going to write my own scripts from my own novels so that they're accurate, and then I'm going to take my check to the bank.
Do you think that her dog still screams like this one? Poof!
Are you looking for ways to make more money? Are you good at sales? Do you have the drive and the ambition that it takes to get the job done? Well, then come join our team here at TVPBN. We offer great incentives. Work your own hours from wherever you want. Small town, big city, my favorite, the quiet island beach. It all works. Go to tvpbn.com today. Click on the link to become an affiliate. My name's Chris Mayberry, and I'm excited to be working with you.
I think that was the dog saying, "You screwed up the books. Come on, you screwed up the books. The movies are not as good as the books." Do you have a dog at home?
I do. I left him at home.
What's your dog at home?
My dog is we just adopted a pandemic dog in October, and
Hold on,
he is
I gotta search that one. What breed is Pandemic?
Pandemic dog. You haven't heard of it?
No. Does it have four legs or five?
He's a regular dog, a regular four-legger.
Oh. Okay.
And he's really cute. He's like a Basset Hound mix with a terrier, so he's got like a little beard.
Do they have like that Basset Hound has the big floppy ears?
He doesn't. His kind of stick up more like that. Kind of like rabbity sometimes.
Serious? So you have, it's like almost kind of like a Basset Hound is they have little short legs, big fat bodies,
Yep.
and big floppy ears, but you have little short legs, big fat body, and floppy and pointy ears.
Well, they sometimes point up. Most of the time, they're like droopy. Most of the time.
I guess.
Yeah. When he's really excited and looks at me.
Look at that. Now do this.
We look like bunny rabbits, not dogs.
We should sing a song now. We should sing a song. What would we sing?
What are we on?
Oh, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I was thinking of Captain Kangaroo. You remember Captain Kangaroo?
Oh my gosh, what did he say? There was some phrase he always said. And he had lamb chop. He always had a lamb chop.
This reminded me of Captain Kangaroo.
So much fun. So much fun.
Anyway, do you have a dog? That's a pandemic dog?
No, my dog has 4 legs, and I haven't yet, I haven't seen my dog for like 6 years.
Oh, that's sad. I don't think he's your dog anymore.
He got a girlfriend and moved out. What can I say? He's like,
Did they
take
did they
this
make
box and shove it.
little
And he left.
babies?
Huh?
Did they make cute little babies?
I have absolutely no idea. He refuses to talk about it, and I haven't seen him for 5 or 6 years.
I have a feeling he's not your dog anymore.
Yeah, he just like, this place is off the chain, and he let the chain go and left.
Yeah.
And no, I just don't have a dog, but I dream about it. I've thought about getting one of those little itty bitty tiny kind that you can put in a backpack.
Uh-huh.
You should get one of those.
Why?
Because you're lonely all by yourself in this cabin. You need a, what do they call those? They call them a toy dog.
Oh, yeah, they're like a toy poodle or like a toy whatever.
How come you left your dog home? Like you could have the dog in the cabin and go on walks and pee on trees.
I really, really, really could. But he doesn't like children very much. And this is a family cabin and there's lots of children. And so I didn't bring him.
There, I don't hear any kids.
He would eat. I told them all to stay away.
Oh, seriously? I thought for a second, since you're the witch, that it was like Hansel and Gretel and you were going to eat them. But
I told him, come near the back cabin and I'm going to push you into that oven.
You have a special candy. Well, that's so. But who's feeding your dog? You've been. How long you staying away? A week?
No, I'm a 2-week vacation. I've like got the whole shebang.
Dang.
I'm
the driver dropped you off
in the
for 2 weeks.
cabin in the woods for 2 weeks.
Man, it's cool that you have cell phone service though. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're not that outdoorsy.
You can still watch Netflix.
Still watch Netflix, just bugs and stuff.
So you have a collection of bugs, kids, and a dog you left home here in the cabin that looks like a spa.
Yeah.
Now,
Does it really look like a spa? You mean a sauna? It looks like a sauna. Like this wall looks like
If it was a spa, there'd be a Chippendale and a massage table. It'll be a very different atmosphere.
Very different. I might have a robe with a big turban towel on my head, you know.
Absolutely. Well, that's what directors do after they shoot films. They all go to the spa, get a little loosey-goosey, relax from the stress. I mean, I would.
Really? I've never heard of that.
Well, it could,
I mean, you know, I'm aspiring still. Maybe I'll learn the secrets of the trade. And I'll call you up and I'll be like, you were totally right. Oh my God, the spa.
Yes. I saw that in that TV series called Suits. When Lewis goes in there and Lewis goes, oh, it's a really good series. It's on Amazon Prime. And Lewis goes into the spa and he gets in the mud bath all naked. And you're like, whoa, there's a pig in a mud bath. It's a little weird scene. So we have a film clip here. It's actually a collection of film clips. And I believe that you are a starring actress in this film clip.
One of them, I am the starring actress in all of them, except for the documentary.
Okay. What's the documentary about?
The documentary, okay, so the way these 3 films came about, they were my directorial class, I guess, like my film study, you know, and the first one was done with found footage. Like I went to a bunch of the protests the summer of 2020 after the killing of George Floyd, and I was out on the streets and I took a lot of video and I took a lot of still photography, and I made this documentary with the footage that I took. Now I took the footage not knowing I was making a documentary at the time. So it was really not.
Gassed? Did you get tear gassed when you're at those protests? Like
no,
gas in your face?
Where I was and where I was protesting in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the police were very cooperative and worked with us and made sure that the traffic was out of the way and that we had our right to protest. It was pretty great. It was a good relationship.
So it was actually a real life peaceful protest, not those kind of peaceful protests in Portland where they burn your building down, because obviously they're peaceful.
Yeah, it was a real life peaceful protest, and there were, you know,
That's
obviously people here and there that wanted to, you know, raise more of a ruckus, but the city is very, it's a really nice city, Winston-Salem, and people wanted to keep it, you know, keep what had been invested, you know, nice.
Every
And
single
also,
time I hear that word Winston-Salem, I think of cigarettes and witches. Back in
yeah, well,
1980,
I lived there.
in 1986, I was in South Korea, and I got caught in the middle of this massive labor protest in the middle of the street. On one end of the street, there were like 50,000 people, literally, because of course it's Asia, right? There's like 100,000 times more people in Asia than there are in Idaho. So, and I'm in Idaho, so if I'm over there and it's like a really foreign country and the people are speaking a language I barely understand, and I'm standing in the middle of the street and all of a sudden there's 100,000 people down there and they're looking at me and they're shouting and they have slogans and poster boards. And on the other end of the street, there's a bunch of army guys. And they have riot shields and riot helmets and these giant guns that have a barrel this big around. And the next thing I know, I hear this poof. And they're throwing bombs that this white smoke comes out of. And then I'm bawling my eyes out and it burned terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, now fast forward to 2020 with all the riots, I'm thinking, why would anybody want to go to this place and breathe that stuff? Surely it creates brain damage, because it really messed me up. Man. But it was a really surrealist experience, because obviously I'm Asian, and you can tell that by looking at me. It's very, very obvious. And so I'm standing in the middle of the street, and here comes the protesters this direction, and here comes the military cop guy. Look at that, my arm disappeared. The military cop guys, they're coming this direction, and they're starting to meet in the middle, and here I am in the center. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, because I'm just standing there frozen like a deer in the headlights. For all of you hunters, that means I can't move. And the cops, they just kind of walked past me like I was a light post, and the protesters walked past me like I was a light post. I stood there completely perplexed. It's like they didn't even see me. It was so disappointing for my ego. Terrible. They didn't even know I existed. So then I'm like bawling my eyes out. I walked off to the side of the road, standing there going, that was weird. 100,000 people didn't even see me. So strange.
Well,
so
it does lessen the importance of our monolithic experience as Americans. Like everything is done through an American perspective, but it's really not.
I'll drink to that. It's the blue stuff.
So anyway, this documentary, I wrote some original poetry that I placed kind of over the documentary, and then that's the documentary piece. And then, are you going to play all three back to back?
Whatever you sent us, we're going to play it.
Okay. And then the second clip is like a comedic. I put a grain over it that's like a cartoon grain, and it's me and my son, and it's called Zen Mom, and it's like me like meditating, like I'm getting into the Zen zone. And then when you leave for the morning and like all the Zen just flies out the window and you're a total crazy wreck because you slept in late and you don't have the lunches made and you can't find your keys. And then the third piece is called Alternative Therapies, and it's about somebody waiting for their test results, and while they're waiting for the test results, they use food and music as a way to kind of self-medicate while waiting for these really terrible test results.
All right, well, let's take a look.
Crowds of faces, masked, mine, one of many, marching and crying out for justice on the hot and corrupt streets of my city.
How can I dance? I'm hungry, I'm dirty, I'm losing my mind, everything's fine!
By the way, I have no aspirations to be an actress at all. But it was kind of like it was COVID and I didn't have anybody else. So it was like either make a film and be the actress or don't make a film. So I made a film.
I'm speechless. Who was the guy that looked like Gandolfo on your phone?
He's a meditation swami on like Insight Timer.
Oh, like some dude you just found online?
Yeah, it's like Insight Timer is like a meditation app, and he's like a guru teacher on the meditation app.
I like the scene in the travel trailer where your feet are up on the chair like this, and you're just like, But the cartoon part, I don't know. That's kind of got to go. The cartoonish kind of sucks, but you.
Yeah. Yes. Well, so this is like why I said it's a learning process, I had bought some filming equipment so that I could start filming. And what I purchased wasn't all that great. And my sound was terrible. That's why I wound up doing the labels and the lighting was terrible. So I had to like fix the problem, like necessity is the mother of all invention, right? So I was like, let's do this cartoon filter and put this cartoon music and speed it up. So I sped up the film to make it feel more cartoonish, which I think, it succeeded in being more cartoonish, but I don't know if it succeeded in being like a great film.
Well, it made me want to dance. I like the music. It was fun. It makes me feel like dancing. Oh my God. I did not expect
that clip is very Eric Andre.
I did not expect that at all. See, the thing is here, folks, when we have a guest on the show, I literally know nothing about them in the beginning. I just wave my hands around and we ask questions, and my brain like wants to ask you the weird, crazy things because that's what I'm thinking. It's just, maybe I'm not normal. But that whole dog laughing thing, screaming, was not planned, and now I'm laughing. No, I mean, I agree with you. Film is a work in progress. It's an experiment. It was a learning process. And actually, I think you made good comedy because I was just laughing my head off. It was great. It was comedic.
Yay! I couldn't give more of the film because it had some swearing in it. So I tried to get clips that I tend to have a potty mouth and write like that. So.
Yeah, this is a family show. We keep our clothes on here. I'll drink to that. Now this is fun.
But yeah, the other thing I was going to mention is like, I just graduated from UNCSA with my master's in screenwriting, and prior to that, I've been writing on and off. I'm an English teacher, so I've been teaching literature.
I'm completely stumped on what is a UNCSA.
University
North Carolina, South Carolina.
School of the Arts. School of the Arts.
Oh, University of North Carolina School. Okay. Now you can go on because you stumped me with the educated verbiage.
Yes. So before that, I didn't really know anything about the film industry. And then when I started learning in my program about like kind of all the steps that it takes to get a film, whether it's TV or film, but to get a product, even like your show, made from production to casting to filming to lighting to sound is huge. If you don't have good sound, you don't have a good film. And then,
That's the truth. Can you imagine so many people invest tons and tons of money in these really expensive cameras, and they're like, it's got to look cinematic. And then they just record it all with their phone from 45 feet away. Look at that. My arm went through the wall again. I got to stop doing that.
Or you could just let it all, disappear.
I'll just keep my arm there for a while. Hey, you know what?
And then the families with the little kids will be like, Mommy, did you see his hand disappear?
Yes, I'm sinking. You know what? It's time for a moment of movies. Poof!
So, you two need a little help. I will give you the best possible chance of getting pregnant. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Am I going to be one of those women who has it all? My career, my kids, my old man by my side?
Who are you calling old? You are 100% pregnant.
Welcome to the family. How are you? A little crazy. I'm seeing things.
Honey, me too. I'm having the wildest mommy brain lately.
I don't think it's mommy brain. I think Dr. Hindle did something. I think they're in on it.
In on what?
Dr. Hindle gives me a bad feeling. I want to see someone more natural.
There's a lot of voodoo out there. We just want to make sure that you get the best possible care.
Confront whatever it is that's blocking you from you.
I'm not crazy. They're trying to make me think I'm crazy.
Doing great, Lucy. Just push.
Hey, this pregnancy shit is no joke, right? Okay, it's really scary.
Brilliant.
Hi, my name is George, and I'm here to talk about.
Welcome back, friends and family and future space alien partners in crime. I am still talking to AVIVA DAWN, an aspiring TV screenwriter. She is still talking to me from the sauna in a vacation spot in Michigan. It's a little bit hot over there. It's okay. It's in the northern part of the state. And we're having a chat here about audio in films. And I know we're laughing and making really stupid comments and everything, but it's actually a serious issue. If you're making films and you haven't considered the audio on your film, you need a doctor. I mean, we just showed you a film clip and you're like, that was so awesome, dude. But would it have been the same if Pierce Brosnan had just been sitting there doing this? It's the sound.
I have something funny to share. So,
all right.
When I learned that sound was super important, I was in the 7th or the 8th grade, and I went to the cinema and I was watching Alien with my girlfriend. And I don't like
in space. No one can hear you scream.
Right? And I am not a huge scary movie person, but she dragged me to it. And so here I am in the movie theater, and it's that famous scene where the alien pops out of the womb, right? And the stomach. And the music was so intense, and that jump scare was so intense. I jumped out of my seat. I knocked both lenses out of my glasses. I had to like scrounge around on the floor to find the lenses and pop them back in. But I was like, it's the sound. As long as I plug my ears, I'm not scared anymore. But that's how important sound is.
Wow. It's like glasses popping awesome.
Yeah.
I'm never going to forget that. It's so good. The lenses popped out of my glasses.
Out of my glasses. So I have a new film that's coming out. In fact, it was just finished on Monday. So nobody's seen it, so I didn't give you a clip of it.
It's you left me out. I feel insulted.
Well, it'll leave a teaser to have me back after it comes out, and it's like, woo, yeah, this is awesome. So in it, I knew I needed a composer. And this was going to be the first film where I had a whole crew. Like I had a real actor, I had a producer, I had a director of photography, I had sound people, and I needed a film music composer. And I just happened to be driving and listening to NPR and my local NPR station, and they were interviewing this 18-year-old girl in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is right by where I live. And they were interviewing her on how she's studying to be a film music composer, and that's what she wants to go to college for, and she wants to make films, and she just thinks that the score is, integral to telling the story of the movie. And I called up her school, and I told her I wanted to try to get in contact with her, and she got in contact with me, and then I hired this brand new 18-year-old to be this film music composer on my first film.
And it's probably awesome because she's super creative.
Yes, she did a great job. And she was, obviously super excited to get an opportunity to work on a first film. So
that's awesome. She can join the Starving Composers Guild.
Yeah. There aren't too many. I mean, they're not starving. They're doing great because there's not enough of them.
Ooh, that's even better.
Right.
We got to like that. I always wonder about that because, in the film groups on Facebook, everyone's like, hey, I need a cast and crew. You can do it. It's really great exposure. Every time they say that, I think, why am I going to take my clothes off? Oh, my gosh. But yeah, the whole exposure. We'll trade exposure for this and 2 burritos, please. So I've always wondered, does a composer really... But if there's a shortage of that, well, then a good composer is going to demand some money, even at 18 years old.
Absolutely. I mean, once she has, this is going to be in her portfolio. And once people see what she can do and what she's capable of, she should start being able to do paid gigs. But I know she's also going to college, so she'll be doing stuff for her portfolio in college.
I'd like to hear the soundtrack.
Paid for it, she's going to get... she's gonna have to.
Oh my gosh, we lost connection here for a second.
Oh, is it back?
You're back. You're back. You briefly faded in and out of existence.
Oh my goodness, that's what happens when you're a witch. It happens sometimes.
When you bend the space-time continuum.
We're talking about dark matter and like because they don't know what it is, like. What could it be? Like, what could you say it's for? And it could be for that. It could be for popping in and out of the space-time continuum.
Well, it's dark.
It
wouldn't be much fun. Like, you couldn't see anything if you did that.
But you could use it as a wormhole.
Ooh. And travel to other galaxies.
Far, far away.
Very, very, very nice. I could have a better audience. Like my audience would be like speaking alien. That'd be really cool. Maybe like cooking. I could have insects for an audience.
And then they could eat them for their protein.
Nice. Import some alien insects, make a little restaurant.
Yes. That film that I just made is about a homeless woman who's stuck in the cycle of addiction. And it's very uplifting.
That's good. I swear, my head is really like wandering today because as soon as you said stuck on a cycle, I thought about like working out on a cycle.
Mm.
I
Have
guess
you
that
seen
could be
Black Mirror?
Black Beauty? What?
Black Mirror.
No, I have not seen that. They keep me in a box.
But in the box, you should be able to see Black Mirror.
Well, I do have HBO box, yes. I'll have to look it up. I've never seen it before.
If you like science fiction, you're going to love it.
When is your film coming out? And what link are you going to send me to watch it? Do I have to pay?
I don't have any answers to those questions because right now I am figuring out which film festivals to enter it into. And some film festivals have like policies where it can't be seen like by anybody basically. So I have to navigate that realm before I put it in the public. I might just release it on YouTube. I don't know.
Those policies, man. It's like 5 fat guys in the back room eating pizza and beer going,
Yeah, right. The other thing I'm doing, though, is I guess short stories are kind of hot right now. Like a lot of people are buying up IP of short stories. So I'm also writing a short story to go with the film as kind of like make it more enticing.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, I want to see it. I'm very interested in seeing this film, particularly because of the soundtrack you mentioned. So as soon as you get that, make sure you send it to me, and then we'll look at it and talk about it. Maybe we'll get on, have a few more laughs, say some really crazy, wacky stuff that doesn't make any sense to anybody except you and me, and then we'll have fun. But in the meantime, I spent all the money already. My quarters have run out. The machine's about ready to shut off on me. I know she's overjoyed. I can see her there clapping on the confidence monitor.
Yes, thanks so much for having me.
This reminds me of Benny Hill. Remember Benny Hill?
Yes. I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody. And see you next time. And have a wonderful day. I love you all.